you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!"
Much of what you see and hear on the following program may be shocking and upsetting to you. But if you will listen calmly and with an open mind, you may discover the key to the peace of mind and joy for which you've been searching all of your life.
And Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas, right? Merry Christmas.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Smith Radio. Your host, Brian Smith, staying up all night long, giving you all the breaking details and news that happened throughout the evening. All the news, kind of wrapping it up of what went down yesterday. And there's all kinds of details coming out about some of those stories, whether fake news, real news. I'm going to give it to you all. I'm going to give it to you straight. I've got a lot of sound bites today. Today's show is probably going to be a little bit shorter than usual, but I digress. So we're going to get on it right away. We're checking the sound levels right now. Sorry about that. Check. How the sound levels there? Good. Okay, great. Today is Thursday, and the 22nd of December. We're just a couple of days away from Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody, and God bless. That's a big thing that we're saying right now. With Trump being president, it's just an amazing thing. When you have a president, I can't tell you, I've been through a handful of presidents, and I can't remember the last president that just had to make it a point to say,
and Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas, right? Merry Christmas.
And he's saying that to a crowd, obviously, of supporters, but they're Americans. They're Americans. They love their country. We love our country. We love saying Merry Christmas. It's been years and years and years where I know that we've talked about this, and we've gone down the streets or we've gone to the stores. Happy holidays, happy holidays. Okay, that's sweet and all, and I understand what you're trying to do, but that's, no, it's not a holiday. It's not happy holidays. We're not wrapping all this up just like President's Day. George Washington got screwed out of that one. So did Abraham Lincoln. So did a lot of other ones. You know, go ahead and lump Ronald Reagan's birthday into that and everybody else. I mean, what are we talking about? 45 presidents, and we can only give them one day of the year? That's just out of control. So we're not letting that happen with Christmas. Christmas is the holiday about the birth of Jesus Christ. It's a time where we can remember our roots, where we came from, who gave us the land of the free, the home of the brave, America. It's a gift from God. We prayed about this all year for the last year and a half, maybe even longer. We've been praying for help from God for probably a decade, at least. And it's gotten so bad, and so many people were so afraid and so scared to speak up during the 8 years of Obama's reign, where he lied, cheated, stole, swindled, had people mesmerized. I was listening to a show, a guy named Roy Masters. Apparently he's been on the air for 55 years. I had no idea. Apparently I just ran across him here recently, and I was listening to him this morning on the way into the office, and something that he said that really struck me. He said that during before World War II, but during the 30s, during Hitler's reign, that there was a saying amongst the people that if you were emotional enough, you could see the light. You could see that thing, the beauty of Hitler, if you had enough emotions. And he says that emotions blind people. When people, and it's a fact, when you get emotionally angry, you can become absolutely blinded to the fix of your situation. I know that whenever I've gotten angry over something, I step away from it, take a deep breath, and come back to it with a clear head. You can make it happen. People who hypnotize people, and he talked about this in the show, people who become hypnotized, very emotional, get them in a very emotional state, and you can hypnotize them very easily. That is exactly what Hitler did. Hitler knew it. He had the ability to do that. you see all these social justice warriors, these SJWs running around right now, crying and screaming and wailing, is because they were hypnotized. They were hypnotized and blinded by what Obama was selling when he said that a fundamental transformation of America. The moment he said that, it was the moment we all knew who had a clear mind, clear, level-headed, reasonable mind. You knew that was a call to arms. That was the end, the beginning of the end for us, and literally had to remove him. A lot of people are saying that 2010, the election of the House and the Senate, removing the power from Obama so that he didn't, because he had a lock. He had the House, the Senate, and him, the president. That's the only way that he was able to jam Obamacare down our throats. If he knew that it was that easy and he could get away with it as much as he did with the spineless cuck conservatives that we have up there in the Supreme Court, in the Senate and in the House of Representatives, the spineless conservatives that are cuck conservatives that don't want to upset. I don't want to be that guy who goes down in history that impeached the first black president. I don't want to be that guy. So for 8 years, you weren't that guy. Nobody was that guy. Nobody spoke up. Nobody said a word. Nobody said how much of a liar, of a cheat, and a thief that he was, that he is, the absolute destruction that he has caused, wreaking havoc in America. The attitude that he possesses, the indignance, the arrogance of him and his wife is suffocating. It's just absolutely disgusting. Here's a woman. Let me play this for you real quick. This kind of recap yesterday's with the Oprah Winfrey bit where she had Michelle Obama on the show, and Oprah Winfrey and Michelle Obama kind of getting together, hating on America, and kind of gave Michelle Obama an open forum to go ahead and go at America and blast America for the most hateful, racist thing they ever did, which was elect Donald J. Trump. I mean, pretty much. I mean, that's what she was saying. So here's a woman. Her name's Deneen Borelli, and I hope I pronounced that right. Deneen Borelli is an American conservative author and columnist, TV personality. I believe I've seen her a few times on Fox News as a commentator. She's best known for writing a book called Blacklash: How Obama and the Left Are Driving Americans to the Government Plantation. So with a book title like that, you know where she's coming from. And let me just preface this. She is a black woman. And she's extremely smart, extremely intelligent, very strong, clear-minded, not emotional. She has the ability to control those emotions, unlike some of the SJWs, social justice warriors out there, crying and screaming and wailing because they were hypnotized. They were mesmerized by what they thought was real. And then all of a sudden, when reality shows up, it's a big smack in the face. It's an identity crisis. So here's Deneen, and here's her take on Michelle Obama, the despicable words that she used describing America on the Oprah Winfrey Show.
Michelle Obama, looks like you're not proud of your country again. You told Oprah in an interview, the country is now not hopeful. Michelle, you couldn't be more wrong. President-elect Donald Trump gives us hope. Gives hope to coal miners that they will have jobs. Gives hope to millions of Americans that they can dump Obamacare and choose their health care and their doctor. Gives hope to our armed forces that they have leaders in charge of our military. Gives hope to State Department officials that if terrorists strike again, they will not be abandoned like in Benghazi. Gives hope to law enforcement that they will have the White House behind them. Gives hope that inner city children can escape failed public schools. Oh, and gives hope to school children that they can get a decent lunch at school. You see, Michelle Obama, there now is great hope because you and your husband are leaving the White House. It's morning in America.
Amen.
This is painful. Yeah. And this really and truly hurts.
This is where it is at.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Merry Christmas.
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And every morning I wake up and I come to the studio and I look around, I look at all the notes and the paperwork and the details and the sound bites and the faces and the things that we do here. And I hear this sound. Pinch me. Am I dreaming?
Right now, a historic moment. We can now project the winner of the presidential race. CNN projects Donald Trump wins the presidency. The business tycoon and TV personality capping his improbable political journey with an astounding upset victory. Donald J. Trump will become the 45th president of the United States, defeating Hillary Clinton in a campaign unlike anything we've seen in our lifetime.
That is absolutely true. This is nothing we've ever seen in our lifetime. This is groundbreaking. This is absolutely awe-inspiring, a gift from God. I say that again and again because let me tell you, folks, what would it have looked like? What would it have looked like if Hillary Clinton had won? Just to juxtapose, not take up too much time of this because I know it's a very upsetting thought and it didn't happen. So let's not dwell on it. But I do want to, I want to talk about this real quick, just in reference to history. I got in a conversation with a young knucklehead, probably barely old enough to buy an adult beverage. And he started spousing off all kinds of different nonsensical rhetoric that he had learned at school. And it was just so frustrating to hear again and again all these talking points, if you will, that were coming from the teachers. Like I could hear him as he was speaking, and it wasn't him. It was things that he had been taught and been told and regurgitated over and over again. So real quick, just a history lesson. If Hillary Clinton would have won the presidency. I know, a very scary thought the most, but here is why it is a scary thought. Hillary Clinton was so hardcore about two major things. First and foremost, gun control. She was absolutely adamant about removing guns from the hands of those hayseed, redneck, church-going Christian hicks. She absolutely wanted guns away from the citizens. There's no question about it. Every moment, every turn, every corner was gun control, gun control. Same thing from Obama. Gun control, gun control. And then some of the terrorist incidences where they attempted to blame a white Tea Party goer, and then all of a sudden it turned with a gun, and it turned out to be, oh no, Islam. Muslim, screaming Allahu Akbar. And yes, he had a gun. Okay, so we need gun control. What was the most recent thing that happened? It was a terrorist using a knife or a terrorist using a car or a bus or something or other. And the vice president came out and made a comment and said, yeah, we need common sense gun control. Like, what are you talking about, man? He used a truck, a car. Okay, I digress. So, if Hillary were to have become president, she would have fallen into the infamous Hall of Fame, or the Hall of Infamy, as I call it, starting with, and I'm not saying this because I know a lot of people compare everybody now to Hitler. Everybody's a Hitler. Everybody's a Hitler. No. I'm going to tell you what these dictators did. And explain to you that she is part of this group. She is not a Hitler. She's not a Stalin. I'm not calling her that name. I'm saying that she is in herself aligned with their ideologies and their thought processes. And her actions are exactly like these actions. Joseph Stalin took guns away from his citizens in 1929, then murdered 20 million of them once they were defenseless. 20 million killed by Joseph Stalin in 1929. Took guns away from his people. 1956, Pol Pot. One that nobody really remembers. They don't talk about Pol Pot very often, but Pol Pot should be talked about so often in schools, and it's just a shame. Pol Pot took guns away from his citizens in 1956, and this is actually the most, not the most recent, but one of the more recent dictators. 1956, then murdered 2 million of them once they were defenseless. Hitler, Adolf Hitler, took guns away from his citizens in 1938, then murdered 13 million of them once they were defenseless. And Mao Zedong, one that it's just I'm beside myself with the fact that nobody talks about this character. Took away the guns from his citizens in 1935, then went ahead and slaughtered 20 million of them once they were defenseless, responsible for many, many, many more deaths. Hillary Clinton, if she had the magic wand, would take away the guns from all of us. There's no question about it. That was her initial intent from back in the day. The other thing that I bring up is the healthcare. All these dictators and despots implement a single-payer healthcare system in order to have you, one, be your safety is beholden to the government because you no longer you're defenseless, no longer allowed to defend yourself by having a gun, so you're beholden to the government and the police department. They remove your health care from private health care, where you go out and purchase it on your own, like your car insurance, to where you actually get it from the government, wholeheartedly from the government. So now your health care is your health and your security. Both of those are beholden. The government owns those, and you need the government for those. Adolf Hitler knew that very, very well. I am not calling Hillary Clinton Hitler. I am not calling her Hitler. She is not a Hitler. Her ideologies are in line with a Hitler. So, okay. So we got that right. All right, good. Oh, so what are we going to talk about? We're talking about the Muslims. We're talking about Islam. Let's hit that real quick and get through this. We are at war with Islam. There's no question about it, because they've declared war on us. They've declared war on the world. Okay? And this is Newt Gingrich was on Fox and Friends with Peter Doocy. And this is what Newt Gingrich, former Speaker of the House, had to say about immigration to America. Cut one. Go.
But you watch. Starting the opening day, when Trump begins to repeal all these executive orders, it's going to be like one of those balloons that deflates. I mean, the Obama legacy is going to do this and down to about a core of 10 or 15% of what he originally did. The rest is all going to disappear within a year. Okay, we had a miscommunication on sound bites. That was actually Newt Gingrich talking about Obama's legacy, which is part and parcel of the immigration. We're talking about all the same thing. Obama has brought hundreds of, tens of thousands of immigrants from all around the world, flying them in, shipping them in, busing them in, getting them into America as fast and as quick as he can for the fundamental transformation of America. We've got to fundamentally change America and literally change the culture, the face of America as fast as we can. Import these immigrants that are destroying Western Europe
and get them into America so that we can destroy America as well. So Newt Gingrich is saying that Donald Trump, as soon as he gets in office, his first 100 days, literally removing one executive order after another that Obama has put in place. And Newt's predicting that within a year, within his first term, you will no longer know of any legacy of Barack Hussein Obama, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't want his legacy to live on in America. However, I want everybody to remember him and the negative, absolutely negative, destructive impact he has had on America. That's just flat out. Okay, now let's talk immigration. Rudy Giuliani on coming to America, and Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, he said the easiest way for us to win the long battle in taking over the world with Sharia law is through immigration. That's Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, terrorist at large, terrorist, the worst of the worst, the most evil that there ever was, to cover and drape the entire world in Sharia law, forced immigration, illegal immigration, just send bodies, and more bodies. And this is Rudy Giuliani on throwing bodies across the border.
How do you extreme vet someone when you don't know what their past is? A lot of these people coming over, they have no past. There's no school records. There's no criminal records. There's no work records. They're coming over saying, hey, I'm here. Help me out.
When you come from a certain part of the world, like Syria, let's make it really simple. The burden has to be on you to prove that you're safe. The burden can't be on me to prove that you're not. This isn't a trial. This isn't a criminal proceeding, and you have no right to come to the United States. The United States Constitution doesn't give anyone in this world the right to come to the United States. That's a privilege that we extend to you. So we have a right to condition that privilege on things that inure to our safety rather than to create a dangerous situation for the world. So if you can't get the information, person doesn't come in.
And let me just add a little bit to that. I know people are going to be, their ears are going to be burning and be blasted. Like, what? You don't have a right.
This is painful. Yeah. And this really and truly hurts.
And it might hurt for those of you who might be on a little bit of the lib side. But understand where I'm coming from with this. Yes, I was afforded the miracle of being born in America. I don't take that for granted, and I don't take that lightly. The fact that I was born in America and the fact that I am an American citizen, I will do my absolute best to preserve what America stands for, what America is all about. And here's what America is all about. America is all about the freedoms that are given to us by our Creator, God. America was founded, the first country ever founded in all of human history, that the government serves the people. And I will fight tooth and nail. I will fight to the death so that remains. That will always be the case. I will be the protector of liberty. I will do what I can to protect that. I will pass on this information and educate and help others to understand the same thing as well. The burden of being an American citizen is a very high burden. It is it's a high responsibility, and I don't take that lightly. So with that being said, if I was not born in America and I was born in another country, I would do everything in my power to come here to this country, legally come to this country, in order to help America continue to promote its goals, its values, the things that she believes in, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, law and order, those institutions. I would do everything I could to help support America to become an American and assimilate. Okay, so there's a twofold if Brian was born in America or if Brian was born outside the country. Now, no one has a right to enter into somebody else's territory or somebody else's country for any reason whatsoever. It is a privilege. It is a permission, and you have to earn it. It is not a right. It is earned. If you don't like your circumstances of where you are, change them, make a different decision, and do something different. I cannot help it if you were born in Saudi Arabia, in the absolute hellhole of hell, the center, the epicenter, the country of ISIS. I cannot, there's things outside of my control. But if, as you were born innocent and pure, if you can retain some of that innocence and understanding and know that where you are is a bad and awful place and you want to get out of there, do everything you can to get out of there. I understand completely. But you've got to come here legally through the proper channels and prove to us that you are worthy. It's just like getting a job. You got to prove to the owner of the company. You got to prove to HR. You got to prove to your boss that you're worthy of receiving a paycheck. Nobody has a right to work. It's an earned privilege to work. I know that sounds strange, doesn't it? It sounds really strange. It's because we live in an upside down world right now. Speaking about work, a little bit of a neat little segue. Somebody put together this little montage. And this is Donald Trump's days of The Apprentice, where he's doing an interview back and forth and he's kind of scolding. I mean, when I say scolding, he's scolding in a constructive way and trying to vet out candidates, if you will. And they did this montage, and every time that he is speaking to somebody or about something, they flash Obama's picture, Obama's face, Obama's resume, America. So listen to this real quick. This is Trump talking about Obama.
This is your review. So your current position, it looks like you've never really managed people before. You've never run a business. Who hired you? You oversee budgets, and you were never responsible for making a payroll or signing paychecks. You've really never balanced anything, certainly not your own budget. Recently you said,
the private sector is doing fine.
The private sector's dying. You had some clear objectives when you took the reins. You promised hope and change. How did you do there? You know, I have a slogan too. We'll get to that later. Cheap. We've got to get results. Without results, it all doesn't matter. There's no reason for keeping important information away from people that hired you. Frankly, it makes us worry whether or not we can trust you at all. There are fewer people working today than when you took office. And certainly, that is a change. So you were right about that. Yet you spent $787 billion on a stimulus plan promising unemployment would go to 6%.
That's a step in the right direction.
And we have a problem. Today, it's 8.3%. You've run up almost as much debt as every other president combined. I know, it wasn't your fault. It's never anybody's fault. You've inherited it, right? You jammed an expensive, convoluted healthcare system down our throat. How much can one group of people take? The bottom line is we want results. China and virtually every other country throughout the world is laughing at us. They take advantage of us. They think we're run by a bunch of fools. OPEC, driving energy prices through the roof. The fact is, the American people want results. President Obama, you're fired.
Oh my goodness, such a beautiful, I mean, it's fact, not fiction. It's fact. It is absolute. And this is by design. This is Obama by design. He never wanted to fix America. He never wanted to make America great. He wanted America to pay for some fictional sins that he thought may or may not have been. And speaking of that, kind of segueing in this, let me touch on this real quick. Trump, within, yesterday, talking to Boeing. Remember when the article came out that, I don't know, the Air Force One was going to cost, I don't know, $1 trillion, hundreds of billions of dollars for Air Force One to construct Air Force One. And Trump said to the news reporter, well, we're going to see about that. I don't know about that. We're going to see about that. I'm going to talk to Boeing. We're going to see about that. Well, apparently, if you ask for a deal, you just might get one. I don't know if you heard about this. This is a step in the right direction. Boeing CEO promises that they can get a cheaper Air Force One done deal, and we can also do cheaper military aircraft. Hey, how about that, folks? We got somebody cutting deals. Unlike Obama, unlike the Clintons, I don't even think Bush didn't cut any deals. He cut deals. He cut deals with the Democrats is what he did. Frustrated with that guy too. Don't get me wrong. Okay, so Trump promising cheaper working deals with Boeing to get cheaper aircraft for the president, aircraft for our military. We're going to have a military buildup. But I'm going to tell you right now, this $19-20 trillion in debt, something's going to have to be done about that. And this is a good start in the right direction. There's no question about that. So we're talking about Obama, and we're talking about America wasn't good. America wasn't great. This whole thing with Michelle and her stint on Oprah and The View. I mean, I bring up these things because there's a lot of public out there. There's a lot of the population out there that are mesmerized. They're in a trance. They're in a state of delusion, if you will. They've been hypnotized and they don't even know it. They're the Walking Dead. Like, literally. Like, it reminds me of,
You live here? Yes. Well, maybe you know what a zombie is. When a person dies and is buried, it seems there's certain voodoo priests who have the power to bring him back to life.
Oh, horrible.
It's worse than horrible because a zombie has no will of his own. You see them sometimes walking around blindly with dead eyes, following orders, not knowing what they do, not caring.
You mean like Democrats?
Yes, just like Democrats. If you voted for Hillary Clinton, I'm telling you right now, you are in a trance. You are in a hypnotic state. You don't know it. You go through life punching a time card, and that's about it. Literally. You have no idea what is transpiring in this world, and it doesn't matter to you. And people like Hillary Clinton, Pol Pot, Mao Zedong, Joseph Stalin, Adolf Hitler, those guys, they love you. They depend upon you. Hugo Chavez depends on the mesmerized, hypnotic state that the people in Venezuela were in, that he has absolutely destroyed an entire country. And he's now probably in hell, spending eternity there as well. Thank you, Hugo Chavez. Destruction in life, destruction in death. God bless it. Well, you got another one. Fidel Castro. 60 years have absolutely destroyed an entire culture, raped a culture from the goodness, the innocence that it had. The very beauty of the Cuban culture. It lives in Florida, which is in America. And it has to live in Florida. It's got to go somewhere because it cannot be in Cuba. Castro dead. Destruction in life, destruction in death. So, what are we talking about? We're talking about the media. We're talking about social justice warriors. We're talking about the left. and we're talking about this spreading of absolute hate for America, hate for white people, hate for just having hate. And MTV, that used to be, the initials are Music Television. Back in the day, they literally did play music videos all day long. Morning through night, there was always a music video being played. So you turn on TV, listen to music, and a video is being played, so you can watch it if you want to, or go about your job, your daily work, whatever you're doing. Well, that no longer the case. MTV has become an extension of the liberal propaganda media, which is just so very, very sad. And my favorite commentator, pundit, whatever you will, political pundit, Paul Joseph Watson. Follow him on Twitter at Prison Planet. He's also a commentator and contributor to Infowars.com, and he did put a little video together about MTV, the white guy syndrome, the hate for America, the hate for white people, just all this hate from losers that lost, and now all they have is hate.
Hey fellow white guys. Hey MTV. It's about to be a new year, and there's a few things we think you could do a little bit better in 2017.
Okay, so MTV, I'm sorry if I didn't tell, MTV made a video hating on white people and telling white people what we need to do in 2017. Literally a racist video that's been taken down, and Paul Watson cuts in and out of it and comments on the whole thing. So let's do that again.
Hey fellow white guys. Hey MTV. It's about to be a new year, and there's a few things we think you could do a little bit better in 2017.
Here's what I think you can do better in 2017. How about you stop collectively demonizing an entire group of people based on their skin color? How about you stop trying to be the reverse KKK for hipsters? Racism is so not cool. I'm talking to you, Francesca.
First off, try to recognize that America was never great for anyone who wasn't a white guy.
Really? That'll be why multimillionaire black men and women completely dominate sports, music, entertainment, and culture then.
I am a young, black, rich If that don't let you know that America understands black matter these days, I don't know what it is. Don't come at me with that dumb man.
America was never great for anyone who wasn't a white guy.
Right, because it's not like you've had a black president for the last 8 years, is it?
What does that mean?
Can we all just agree that Black Lives Matter isn't the opposite of All Lives Matter? Black lives just matter. There's no need to overcomplicate it.
Can we all just agree that saying all lives matter isn't racist? Let's not overcomplicate it. Plus, the opposite of Black Lives Matter is Black Lives Don't Matter. And no one is saying that. So what the hell are you talking about? Oh yeah, and Black Lives Matter isn't just a phrase, it's a movement whose ideological guru is a cop-killing terrorist. A movement whose violent, hateful rhetoric has led to black cops being killed.
Also, Blue Lives Matter isn't a thing.
Actually, it is a thing. It's the crazy notion that the lives of police officers matter. Blue Lives Matter is a thing because cops, many of them black, kept getting attacked and murdered because of Black Lives Matter's violent rhetoric.
We have dead cops because of that hands up, don't shoot lie.
Stop bragging about being woke. Stop saying woke.
Woke.
Learn what mansplaining is, and then stop doing it.
Yeah, learn what being a retard is, and then stop doing it.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Mansplaining.
Mansplaining. A sexist slur created by social justice warriors to invalidate someone's opinion based on their gender. Okay, so overt racism isn't enough. After all, this wouldn't be an MTV news video without a healthy dose of misandry to top it off.
Mansplaining.
We all love Beyonce. And yeah, she's black, so of course she cares about black issues.
Yeah, Beyonce cares so much about black issues that she dyes her hair blonde and bleaches her skin to try and look as white as possible. Oh yeah, and a minute ago you were saying America wasn't great for non-white people, Now you're saying how great Beyonce has it.
Feel free to take Kanye West, though. You guys can have him.
Deal.
Nobody who has black friends says that they have black friends.
And just because you have black friends doesn't mean you're not racist.
That's racist!
Okay, so do you have black friends? Yes. You just said you have black friends. You must be racist. Oh, you don't have black friends. Well, why not? You must be racist.
That's racist!
Guys, we know nobody's perfect.
Yeah, but that's no excuse to avoid the treadmill, chubby.
But honestly, you could do a little better in 2017.
Honestly, MTV News, maybe you should take your own advice and do a little better by not making dumbass racist videos that demonize an entire group of people based on their skin color.
Some of you guys do a great job. Some of you don't.
Yeah, unfortunately, you guys didn't do a great job at not being racist, given that you deleted this video on YouTube after it received an over 100-to-1 thumbs down ratio. Then uploaded it again, claiming a graphics issue, then deleted it again.
2017 can't be worse than this, alright? Because this is bad.
I agree. That video was bad. In fact, it was fucking terrible, and I can see why you deleted it. Now do us all a favour, MTV News, and delete your channel.
Life. I could listen through that over and over and over again. Yes, no, it is exactly what it sounded like. It was a racist rant towards the majority of America. 59% of 50 to 55% of Americans are white, some type of Caucasian, split white. There's a lot of mixed racial, interracial people. You got Tiger Woods who's got an Asian mom and a black dad. You've got other famous people, Barack Obama, a white mom and a black dad. You've got a mix of all kinds of cultures here. And to just go after one single culture and continually to beat them down, they're not taking it no more. This whole racist thing, you're racist, this is racist, it just isn't working. So that was big news with the MTV thing. That kind of, it popped up yesterday, and I saw it before the show, yesterday's show, and I was going to talk about it, but once Paul Joseph Watson, Watson came out with this rant, I had to play it, had to show it to you, and it gives a way better explanation than I could have given. He's just phenomenal, and it was well put together. So, and it was real quick, touching on some of the old news that is still new. That German truck in Germany, the truck bomber, the Berlin truck attacker, hijacked the truck, stabbed the driver. Apparently the driver was still alive, attempting to jerk the wheel out of his hands while he was running through the market square of Christians. Could be different cultures there for Christmas shopping and everything else. This Muslim migrant who burned down a school in Italy, arrested 3 times, never deported. Also in Germany, arrested, slipped through their hands, and was never deported. Great job, guys. You've done a great job. What a crying shame. I mean, it's just a crying shame. They had this guy in their hands. They had this guy in their midst. And what do? They let him slide through, let him go. I mean, as it is right now, Obama's looking at letting 22 terrorist leaders out of Gitmo, letting them go before he leaves office. So that means that we're going to have to go after more of them. This is Trump. He was at a press conference. It's a little hard to hear, but listen to him real closely. This woman is trying to ask him a question on the German attack and on something Trump may or may not have said. And these reporters, you guys better, the press corps, you guys better be on your P's and Q's, because if you're not asking intelligent questions and you know what you're talking about, Trump's going to come at you. So here's the, where is it? Oh, there it is. That one right there. Okay. Go ahead with the clip.
Your comments about the truck attack in Berlin being against Christians, do you think that this might...
Say it again, what?
The attack in Berlin being an attack against Christians?
Well, who said that? When was that said?
I believe you said it.
She said the attack, you said the Berlin attack was attack against Christians. He said, where did you hear that? Where did you see that? She says, I believe you said that in a press release. And he says,
Press release?
He says, so go ahead. He does not confirm or deny that, but he says, so go ahead. And she says, so wondering how this might affect relations with Muslims.
So wondering how this might affect relations with Muslims?
It's an attack on humanity. That's what it is. It's an attack on humanity. And it's got to be stopped. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It's an attack on humanity and it's got to be stopped. Thank you. I'm out of here. Bye-bye. I'm telling you right now, folks, this is going to be a phenomenal 4 years. It's going to be exciting. I'm loving it already. The way that Trump is treating the media, he's serious. He's dead serious on getting these things done. He's dead serious about security. He is acting more presidential than I've ever seen anybody act presidential in a long, long time. And while we're on Muslims and immigration, I don't know if you guys know, there's a little town called Dearborn, Michigan. Dearborn, Michigan has been overrun by Muslims, overrun by, and the Muslims that have overrun the city have elected Muslim officials, Islamic practicing Muslim officials that will carry out Sharia compliant laws on purpose so that they can live in Dearborn, Michigan. This has been going on for a long, long time, probably 10, 15, 20 years, and they've really got a grip on Dearborn, Michigan. And this is a gentleman who had a run-in with some police officers and some issues. It's a 55-second clip. He's giving a press conference describing what is going on in Dearborn, Michigan, and what happened to him and the people he knows.
But the most horrifying aspect of everything that happened for me wasn't being thrown in jail. It's what we heard while we were there. While we were in the Dearborn jail, a police officer told Nabil and Paul, two of my friends who were arrested, that they agree with us. Not all police officers. He's saying there are some of us here who agree with you in exposing what's going on. And, Nabil pointed out that, hey, we're here in jail, what's going on, how can you agree with us, and so on. And he said, you don't have to tell me. I've gone into houses here in Dearborn where girls have been killed for having boyfriends, and the department keeps it quiet. I've never heard of any honor killings here in Dearborn. And yet, according to a police officer, it's happening, and they're making sure people don't know about it.
If that is even remotely true, I'm telling you, this is this is going on in America. This is absolutely incompatible with our laws, with our society. We do not believe in taking of someone's life because they make a decision and they wish to express their freedoms. It is just unthinkable. I'm beyond words when it comes to Dearborn, Michigan. There are just no words for it. This is what they do. This is what the Muslim culture does, and it is not compliant with our culture. We do not kill honor killings. We do not kill our women and children because they decide to make a life decision, a career choice. We don't do that. They do that in the Muslim community. And it's unconscionable if you ask me, folks. It's just, there's no words that I can use to describe how frustrating and angry it is to see the abuse that is given out by Muslims and how the left accepts that. And that's good and that's all right. and it's good times. It's got to stop, folks. It just has to stop. And that's why we've got to get involved with our community and with our law enforcement so that they have the tools that they can do what needs to be done. All right. Boycott of Delta Airlines. I don't know if you heard about this one, folks. There's this knucklehead. His name's Adam Selabh. He is a hoaxer. He does hoax videos on YouTube, and his videos where he's a Muslim, and he will go and torment young children, act like he's going to beat people up. He goes around and bullies people, and he videotapes it and puts it up on YouTube. How this stays, you got me. Anyways, he was a passenger on Delta Airlines and took out his cell phone and started videotaping, and this is a little bit of what him and his friends were doing on Delta Airlines, sitting in their seat.
In a different language, and there's 6 white people against us bearded men. 6 white people against us bearded men. How about you kick them? I feel uncomfortable. No, you're going to kick us out once we go outside. That's what's going to happen. They're going to kick us out. Delta Airlines. And I have an account with you guys, too. I spoke a different language, and they're kicking us out? Thank you so much.
Okay, so he's screaming that they're kicking us out. That was the unedited clip, and we do not want to go down that road with that one. So he's screaming that there's some kind of discrimination. He's screaming, he's upset, and then it's unconscionable. What are they doing? Why are they doing this to me? And this is the other clip of them sitting in the aircraft waiting.
What would ever happen? What would ever happen if we count down in the plane? Count down, let's say like 10. No, in Arabic. No, bro. What? Tell you kicked out, boy? Kicked out of what? Bro, let's do it. No. I can count down Arabic. Freedom of speech. It's a social experiment. You know what I'm saying?
Social experiment. He wants to count down from 10, and he wants to count down in Arabic in his native language. Yeah, it's going to be no big deal, right? So he gets kicked off the aircraft screaming that he made a phone call to his mother speaking in his native language, and they didn't like it. So Delta Airlines had removed him from the aircraft because of that. Well, information's come out, and folks sitting on the aircraft said he didn't make a phone call to nobody. He didn't call anybody at all. Delta Airlines still standing by their stewardess and their enforcement for removing him from the aircraft. They were making a huge, huge ordeal about what was going on. I'm talking about the hoaxer, Adam Selabh. And I'm going to tell you right now, back in the 90s, this is before 9/11. So back in the 90s, I was on an aircraft taking a flight from Philadelphia to Italy when I was in the Air Force. And I had a buddy with me, and the aircraft was delayed, and I had to replace a compressor, I had to replace a hydraulic pump, something or other, and it was a little nerve-wracking. But we all had to go wait, and they told us if you walk away from the gate, well, we're ready to board, and you're not here to board, we're leaving without you. So there was a bar that was, maybe a hallway down and to the right. So we had somebody stand on the corner and somebody stand down the hallway to kind of watch all of us so we wouldn't miss the flight. And my buddy of mine, he was just drinking way too fast. And, he's young, he's dumb, whatever. And this was late in the evening. It was like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. And finally, we're about to board our flight, and this friend of mine had a massive amount to drink, so much so that he was pretty belligerent. He was getting loud. I was kind of holding him and helping him on. As we were sitting down in our seats, they were about ready to kick him out because he was a little loud, little belligerent. And I told him, I told the lady, said, ma'am, I'll take care of him. If he doesn't get to Italy, he'll be thrown in jail. Literally. If you miss your duty assignment when you're supposed to be there, they'll throw you in jail. They could care less. And she said, okay, but if he makes one more disruption, we're throwing him off this aircraft. I said, no, ma'am, I promise. And before we even took off, before we even left the tarmac, he'd passed out in the chair, and she came by and checked on him, and we were fine. This, after 9/11, this jackball doing this, you're lucky that that you didn't get jumped by some Americans wanting to live, thinking that you're causing havoc, wreaking havoc, causing problems on an aircraft. You can't do that. Everybody on that aircraft is disarmed. Nobody is allowed to have any kind of weapon, and you're threatening people with your words, your actions, the things that you're saying, things that you're doing. Yeah, no, bro, that don't fly. Yeah, law dog, go around here, law dog. You can't do that. That doesn't work. So, okay, so as this went on and on, passengers came out and said no, he never made the call to his parents. He never made a phone call at all. Hashtag Boycott Delta lit up all over Twitter last night, was trending early this morning. Hashtag Delta was trending this morning. It is unbelievable how the news ran with this, how Twitter kind of ran with this. It's sad and it's disturbing how quick this fake hoax on a social experiment, as he said, took off. He also deleted his account, and he deleted this tweet. His tweet that he had put up said, the person who's blamed for the Boston bombing, the Boston Marathon bombing, is innocent. Capital letters. The media just had the power to make him look guilty. FReeJahar. Jahar. Yeah, you know where his mind is now. You know where his mind is now, and we've got major problems here. If we've got knuckleheads like this and we're allowed to scream, I'm Muslim and I'm allowed to do and say what I want. I'll be honest with you, the burqa needs to go. Nobody's allowed to wear a burqa. You can't cover yourself up, especially if you're going into an aircraft. Sorry, that burqa's got to come off. We don't know who you are. We don't know what you're hiding. You could be hiding a bomb underneath that. Oh, speaking about that, I saw just a very disturbing video last night. A woman, mother, completely, well, it was said to be the mother. I have no idea, because she was covered from head to toe in a black sheet, referred to as a burqa. The whole jihad, the head to toe, you couldn't see eyes, couldn't see hands, nothing. Hugging and kissing her, what looked like to be 9-year-old son and daughter, two daughters, two sons, I'm not sure. Hugging and kissing them just before they were to leave. The father then rushed them off to another gentleman who had them outfitted with body armor, body equipment, body bombs, so that they could go and do a suicide bomb mission. 7, 8, 9-year-olds. This is what we're fighting. This is what we're battling. In World War II, when we were battling Japan, the land of the rising sun, when we were battling Japan, I have no sympathy for them. Not when you completely fuel up your aircraft, you load it up with all types of ammunition, you remove components like chairs, like seats and equipment, and just gut the thing out so that it can hold as many bombs and gas and fuel that it possibly can. And instead of actually firing upon a ship, you drive that aircraft into the body of the plane, or body of the ship. Kamikaze. That's right, folks. It was going on during World War II, and it was absolutely insane. Our grandfathers had no idea. You mean we're supposed to fight an enemy that is willing to throw his body at you as a weapon, to literally kill himself as a suicide mission? How do you defeat an enemy like that? And it wouldn't stop. They wouldn't stop. It kept coming. It kept coming. That's why we had to drop the bomb. When we dropped two of them, dropped one on Hiroshima, one on Nagasaki. My brother and I, my brother who's a historian, went to school to be a history teacher. a lot of knowledge about history. We kind of tongue-in-cheek joke that the second bomb was dropped for Russia. Let them know, hey, better back off. I don't know. It's just something that he and I talk about. But the whole point is that we are now faced with a culture that is willing to strap dynamite, TNT, bombs on their children and send their children, their babies out to be detonated as bombs. We need to get a grip on this, and we need to ban the cult of Islam. The cult of Islam is what is terrorizing the world as we know it. So, a guy named Brian Claypool, a man, he talks about this man that was removed from Delta flight, and this is his quote. He says he was on the O'Reilly Factor, and he was a lawyer for civil rights or something or other. So Brian Claypool makes the comment. This is his comment. He says, "This incident is about two words: racial profiling." I'll tell you what, if we did a little bit more racial profiling, maybe, just maybe, we'd be a little bit safer. Right. A little bit safer, folks. Racial profiling, bring it back. I know Rudy Giuliani said that they used it in New York City extensively to help clean up the city, and absolutely, crime went away. It was unbelievable how they cleaned that entire city up, and it was a beautiful place to go visit. Now, not so much. Kind of slipping back down the road. I have no idea how the New Yorkers, how they voted in this Mayor de Blasio, a full-fledged, full-blown communist. God bless it, folks. What's going on here? Okay, so let's get into real quick recent anti-Trump hoax. 5 recent hoax that were blamed on Trump or Trump-inspired or Trump supporters. Number 1, Houston man pleads guilty in mosque fire on Christmas Day. Last year on Christmas Day, a Muslim who attended the mosque, ironically, set the place ablaze, and this guy, his name's Moore, told investigators at the scene that he had attended the mosque for 5 years, coming 5 times a day to pray 7 days a week, according to court records. If that is true, how do you work, man? How do you make money? How do you become a product of society? It sounds like if you're at the mosque 5 times a day, praying 7 days a week, 5 times a day, folks, that's brainwashing. Complete, utter. He's in a trance. He's being taken over. Jeez Louise. And so they wanted to blame that on Trump, and Trump because at that time last year, the big thing that the media was running with, they were all about Trump's to ban Muslims from all of America. Nobody can come in if you're Muslim. No. Only the ones from countries that we have no idea we have no idea how to vet them. We don't know where they're coming from. There's no papers on them. We got no idea who these people are. And you're not American, so you can't come to this country. Number 2, Muslim college student made up. Trump supporter attacked me in the subway. She made this story up to avoid punishment for missing her curfew. Number 3, hate hoax. Another student fakes mugging claimed by Trump fan. More than a week after the 2016 election, a man on the BGSU campus claimed he had been pushed to the ground and robbed, all while the 2 perpetrators allegedly called him racial slurs. The university's vice president for student affairs, Thomas Gibson, put out a statement based off a local police investigation where he confirms that the alleged attack did not happen. Didn't happen. Number 4, but the media wants to run with it though. 4, police threat. There was a threat to burn the University of Michigan, UM student wearing a hijab. She claimed that the student claimed that a man threatened to burn her alive if she didn't remove her hijab. Ann Arbor, Michigan. By the way, that was false. That never happened. Mississippi church member charged in vote Trump arson. This is more recently. I don't know if you heard about this. Man with prior criminal records arrested Wednesday in the burning of an African-American black church in the South in Mississippi, and spray painted everywhere the words "Vote Trump." The church's bishop said, "Oh, yeah, I know that guy. Yeah, he's a member of the congregation." The state fire marshal said investigators do not believe the fire was politically motivated, but there's a signs that may have been done to appear that way. Oh, Lord. Come on, man. That's not politically motivated. I don't know what is. Marky Mark and the Fresh Funky Bunch. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. That is Mark Wahlberg. He's out with a new movie. Oh, my goodness. We are running out of time. Let me, real quick. Mark Wahlberg, new movie called Patriot Day. Patriot Day. Marathon bombing movie is a heartfelt and unnecessary movie, according to the Boston Globe. Paul Joseph Watson says Mark Wahlberg's new movie is being labeled Islamophobic by the left. That means it's a good and accurate movie, so we should all go see it. Washington Post fake headline: cybersecurity firm says Russian military intelligence arm was behind the DNC hack. No, Washington Post, that's fake news. Salon.com, which is always fake news, is claiming that Donald Trump's choice Secretary of State for Interior allegedly committed travel fraud while as a Navy SEAL, Ryan Zink, SEALs Team 6. He had a successful career, went on, was elected to Congress in 2014, yet they're saying, oh, it's just ridiculous. They point out no names. They claim that they've talked to people. They have no names, no proof, no information. And if there was, he would have been court-martialed. If he wasn't court-martialed and a deal was struck, well, then that's what it is. And if there's no record that he did anything wrong, then that's what it is. You can't stop, folks. You can't make this stuff up. Oh, my goodness. Wow, we went over time. I was supposed to be short today. Too much information, folks. Stay tuned. Please, if you like what you hear and you like following the show, listen to us every single morning, and then our special 3-hour show on Sunday evenings. If you want to be a part of the show, 513-888-1538. Message board, live message board during the show as well. Stay tuned. Share us with your friends and family. Facebook, Twitter, Smith Radio, SMYTH radio.com.
With unfathomable power.
What kind of power?
Unfathomable. It's without fathom.